I'm Michael Bainbrook. I'm a writer, videographer, together with my sweetheart Sharon. Oh, just look at her. Aww. We love to travel. Of course, we have had to put our traveling on hold, thanks to the flu. Now, of course, when you travel, you want to see the Eiffel Tower, especially at night, and the Roman Colosseum, and great castles. But let me be honest, you can stand in line for 2 hours, pay $50, and go in with 500 people. Sometimes I like to be on my own. I want an adventure. I want to explore. How would you like to hike to this old ruin and explore it all by yourself? Yes! Or this 17th century church? Or this 14th century bridge? Or this quaint little lighthouse from the early 1900s? And on your way, you just might see a goat farm, or a lavender field, or an olive grove, or this neat vineyard on the hillside. Today I'm going to show you how to make the most out of your European vacation. We're making our European vacation an adventure. Thanks for joining us. Now, the first thing you need to know is that we're going to be working with Google for this, or more specifically, Google Maps. Now, I'm not going to assume any level of experience with the computer. We're just going to start at the beginning. So the first thing we need to do is choose a town. And there's a great little town in the northeast of France called Ribeauvillé. So the first thing you do is go to Google and type in Ribeauvillé, France. And you get a page that looks pretty much like this. Now, it's the map that we're interested in, so click on that. Click here to move this out of the way, and you get a more fuller map. Now, what we're looking for are these markers. Here's one for a ruin. Here's a religious structure. The camera means it's a good place to take a picture. This means there's a chateau in the area. And here is a trailhead. We're going to make our own trailhead. So now from Ribeauvillé, if you look northwest, you see that there are 3 interesting markers. If you touch your cursor on them, you get a little picture. Here's a church, a chateau, and another chateau. Now, I think this one will make a good hike, so I click on it and I get more details. There's even some reviews. In this one, Google tells you you can drive there, but this guy says you can't. It's good to know. Lastly, I look at some pictures and I decide that's where I want to go. Now, believe it or not, you've just created yourself an opportunity to explore Europe. It's that easy. Let's try another one. Let's say we're in Tuscany. There's a great little town called Cortona. So I put that into Google and I get some information on the town. Again, it's the map that I want. So I click on that. I move the picture out of the way, and I'm able to see the markers. If you move around a little bit, a little northeast of Cortona, there's an area where there are 5 churches. Now you could hike to all these in one day. Remember, put your cursor on them and you get a little picture. Oh, not this one. That means there's no picture of it. Very nice. So I think I'm going to this one and I look for more information on it. This says it was rebuilt after it was destroyed in an earthquake. Nope, not an earthquake. A landslide. So watch out for landslides. You can also find pictures and information on agriturismos, which are like farm B&Bs. This one, right in the middle of things, is $130 a night. You're on your own, there's views all around you, and you'll never see this stuff on a bus tour. Okay, today Sharon and I are traveling from our home base of Cadaqués to the small town of Rupit, Spain. I checked my driving route just so I know what's ahead of me. We're going to spend the day in Rupit and then do a little hiking. So the day before I go to Rupit, I type in Rupit, Spain in Google, and I get my familiar information page. I click on the map, get this out of the way, and I'm free to look around, zoom in and out, move my cursor around a little bit till I find some markers. There are 2 ruins and also 2 religious structures. After checking out each one, I decide on Capella de San Gil. It looks like a neat old church made out of rock and brick. I check up for some information on it, look up some pictures, and I'm pretty set on going there. Now here's a neat feature. You can change to satellite, or terrain as I call it. This is the first time that you've been to this place, so you need as much information as you can get. And this will show you a different view and maybe what you're up against. And our drive to Rupit is successful, and we have a great day sightseeing the town. We have lunch, and it's time for our hike. We pull off and park the car and start walking. It's so great being out there on your own, exploring, seeing things that you'd never see unless you took the time to find this great little church to go see. It's quiet and relaxing. Finally, we make it, and it looks just like the pictures. On the way back to the car, I meet a farmer who'd just come back from collecting eggs. They rent out rooms, and his wife is quick to show me their price list. Alright, today we're headed from Cadaqués up the coast to the small town of Colera. I can even check out my driving route. Colera is a great little town, quiet in March, but I imagine it's hopping in July. So before I go, I enter Colera into Google. And I look to the west in the foothills above Colera. And I see 4 things that we could hike to. There's a trailhead, a ruin, some kind of religious structure, probably a church, and a point of view. And after looking at all of them, I decide on the ruin. I zoom in so I can see what I'm up against. I check out the reviews and look at pictures. The only thing left to do is to park and start hiking. Now I calculate that there and back is about 7 miles, and that's too much for us today, so we decide to drive in. Park the car and start walking. It was raining when we left, but the day cleared up. And the sign looks like something you might see in central Utah with a bullet hole in it. We have lunch and start back. Our hike in the Pyrenees was free, there was no one on the trail, and we saw a ruin that few tourists will ever see. What a great day! In our home base town of Cadaqués, I hear about a lighthouse. It's about an hour hike from town. Far de Calanan. Far means lighthouse in Catalan. So I check out the route. And then start hiking. Beautiful whitewashed villages, nicely groomed trails, and blue bays the color of sapphires. Hikes like these are easy to find all over Europe. using Google Maps. It's a great chance to explore and make your European vacation something special. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm Michael Bainbrook, and I'll see you at the next stop.
Personas, 3 o 4, 5, 6 y 7. El precio es este. Este es lo que se cobra cuando se hace la reserva.
Bueno.
El precio final es siempre este. 2 días, un fin de semana son 2 días y 2 noches.
Más caro. De fin de semana.
2 personas. No,
¿No?
es siempre el mismo precio. Lo que es más caro es 2 personas, porque
Okay.
lo que vale dinero es calentar la casa y limpiar.
Sí.